Alright, so I ended up going to my summoner skirmish that was going on today. Shout out to superko, super well ran event. Shout out you guys for giving us pizza, even though you didn't have to. And then I ended up taking Annie, got third place. Deck felt great. Got these cool promos. Sadly, couldn't get the cool Blitzkrieg playmat to play on to do the profile on, but these are still cool promos, and I'm glad to have them. The deck performed great. Like, it felt good all day. It's probably the best iteration that I've come up with. I felt super proud with it, so I felt like sharing it. So yeah. Obviously, like, you just play the Annie Stubborn. There's no reason to play the other Annie. We're not playing a removal deck or anything like that. Like, you're just playing this one. And this card's just insane being, what's it called? Being a, any one of your spells of your choice in your champ zone just, like, feels absolutely broken. Just at any point in the game, just pay for, pick up anything. Feels great. And then for the battlefields, you play on the Dreaming Tree, Zon Warren's, Arena's Greatest. There's no better battlefields, in my opinion. Maybe Candlelit Sanctum over Dreaming Tree, just so you're not giving Yi or Kaisa value when you go here. Then you're just like able to like kind of manipulate the top of your deck and just see if it's kind of where you want to be. Zon Warren's and Arena's Greatest are never changing, but this is the only one that I'd consider, and maybe doing like Candlelit or something. I don't know quite yet. So the other one is the battlefield that when you move there, you get additional might. That I think could be a little interesting, because you could help push your stuff into thresholds that are like awkward to remove. Like if you're going in and attack on a Kaisa and they're there, they can't like Void Seeker you and stuff. So I don't know. I might mess around with that one, but these all feel amazing. The only one that feels lackluster is the Dreaming Tree, but it just feels great. And the Ruin Split is 5 Chaos, 7 Fury. Not much to say. Like a lot of your heavy power costs are red. There were a few times where I was like, oh shoot, I need more purple runes, and I didn't have them because of Rebuke, and I did think about going to a 6-6 split because of that, but I think the 7-5 is good. Maybe going to 6 and 6 just because there's a lot more purple power cost in the list, but and then for the main deck, we play for the turn 1 play units. You got 3 merchant, like the boy right there, 3 Pouty Poro, because there's not really a better 2-drop for you to be playing. You could play Legion Rearguard, but I like the Poro for the Kaisa matchup. And then probably my favorite card in the deck, and one of my favorite cards in the game, is Sneaky Deckhand. This card feels so good, turning 3 runes sideways and just playing this directly onto a battlefield and scoring. And then you ready 2 runes at the end of your turn, you ride the wind over to the other one. Oh, so good. Feels so good to do that. But 9 feels pretty good. You pretty consistently can see one after mulligans and everything. I didn't really have any issues not seeing a 2-drop. You also have the, what's it called? The 2-drop Vi. But I consider this more of a late game unit. But you can play this going turn 1 if you absolutely have to. It just feels kind of bad doing the power cost that early into the game. But this still can serve as a pretty decent opening unit. But this card is like the whole heart and soul of the deck, and like the Vi Ride the Wind combo is like why this deck is so absurd. And then 3 Kaisa. There was a time where I was only playing 2 of this just because I was like testing around and seeing what I liked, but you just have to play 3 of this card. It feels too good and gets you too much value. And then Triple Darius. I did not see this guy enough today. Like, I probably only drew him maybe 2 or 3 times during the tournament, not counting my opening. Because there were a lot of hands I just had the mulligan him to the bottom, and it just felt kind of bad because it just meant like I just was not seeing Darius for a while. There's one game against Yi where I had one and I had another in hand, but he just had a charm, so it just like didn't matter. I might have been able to bring that game back if he didn't have it, but yeah, the game's just Yeah. Those games against Yi were really rough. I need to figure out how to play in that deck for real. But these units feel crazy. The Darius feels good because you do have the stack decks and the cleaves. That you can at 6 runes pair with the Darius to ready him and just make him 7 might rush unit. But yeah, like Kaisa also feels crazy going second. Like if you have a hand of like deckhand Kaisa going second, it feels so good because you're able to just turn 1 deckhand. They either have to contest this or they go to the other one, and then they go to the other one, and then the next turn you play Kaisa and you move the Kaisa in. Now you're at 3 points and you just cleared their unit. Just feels pretty good. And then for like honorary unit, but you're not really ever playing it unless your hand is awful with Scrap Heap. This card feels great in this deck, especially if you go Zon Warrens. But the gains afterwards, I'm always just siding this out for other side cards. Like this is one of the easiest side outs in the game right now. The card feels insane. Like being able to like play Traveling Merchant, next turn move it, move trigger, discard this, draw a card, and Scrap Heap, draw another card. It feels diabolical. There were a few games where I was on Zon Warrens where I went Kaisa in, and I had Zon Warrens and Kaisa drew me a Scrap Heap, and then I could Scrap Heap off the Zon Warrens, drew out Zon Warrens, and drew off Scrap Heap. So it was like draw 3 cards. It's insane. So yeah. And then for spells, stack deck, probably the best purple card. Like this card's insane. Being able to just look at top 3 and just pick one is crazy. And for 1, triple cleave. Card feels great. You can play it on weenie units if you have to fight for battlefields, but typically you're doing it on Darius or Kaisa, so you can just go straight in and clear things out. Well, it was good there. And then for your move spells, which are like what allow you to do all the shenanigans with this deck, 2 fighter flight. I was on 3. I feel like that's too much because this feels like it feels bad having to fighter flight your unit back. You're typically just using it on your opponent's units to move them out of the battlefield. And yeah, but this card's absurd. Being able to like push big units out, like if you're at like 5 points or something, and they're like have like a dead bloom or something, or like a white flame, and you can just fight or flight that unit out of that battlefield and go and take the point from them, can feel pretty good. Or if they like go in and you say, "Nah, I'm good," and you fight or flight out and just get your whole point, pretty good. 3 flash. This card's absurd. It being a reaction is even better. You want to interact with my battlefield at all? I'm good. I'm taking those units back and I'm just gonna push them back in. Like this card's crazy. And then 3 ride the winds. This card's also crazy. Like why ride the wind feels so unfair. If you're at 6 points, and like if you're at 6 points and you have Vi and Ride the Wind in your hand and like 10 cards in trash, you just win the game on the spot. Like there's almost nothing your opponents can do. The only way to beat that combo that I know of effectively is in purple with some kind of with Fight or Flight, Rebuke, or Defy. Those are the only real ways to beat the Vi Ride the Wind combo. Or like stacking, but if my trash is like 15 plus cards, like it doesn't matter what you stack. I can just clear it. Like there was a game I got the Vi up to 26. Like that's crazy. That's so good. Yeah, like these cards are like the heart and soul. And then for like your removable suite, I just played 2 Void Seeker. I didn't really need more than that. The 2 felt great. Falling Star, this isn't in a lot of lists anymore. I still love this card because it's essentially, it's either I play 2 Rebuke, another Void Seeker, or the 1 Falling Star. I'm like, if I have the Rebuke and the Falling Star, if I see either of them, I just put them in my trash, and I just have essentially 2 copies because I have the Annie in the Champ Zone. That can feel bad, but there are situations where it does come up where you need to go Falling Star clear, play Annie, Falling Star, and just so you can clear their units and take some kind of tempo back. It feels bad to do that, but it is an option. And then Rebuke is insane. Like this being an action, just remove anything. This makes your set matchup really easy. It makes the Teemo matchup really easy. Leona. There's a lot of matchups that this card just solves. It also can help into the E matchup if you see them. But yeah, that's the main. And then for the last two cards, the side deck, one Fading Memories. I like this card and I hate it at the same time. Like, there's some instances where this card feels insane, and then there's some instances where it's like, God, this card does not feel good. And it's just like, it essentially feels like a worse Rebuke, which I played the other two copies in the side deck. This card's insane. I am half tempted to main more copies of this. Like, just cut the Falling Star and just play the Rebuke. Just because this removes anything. Like, that's so good. And I love. Gust is another card I want to main, but I'm playing Scrap Heap. This card feels insane going second. Being able to go Merchant, and then you untap, and then you have the Gust. Or, like, you go Merchant, stack deck, and then you Gust, or you Merchant, and then you Gust, and you have, like, a Ride the Wind to move your Merchant up, so you can do shenanigans like, alright, where's it? So you can do stuff like, okay, I'm gonna play the Merchant, and then this is going second, and then you're at this state, you untap your runes. They go in, you Ride the Wind over here, and then you Gust their unit out so they don't score, and you get an early score, and you get the trigger off Merchant to draw a card, and if they don't clear this, and you get the whole point too. So you can do some shenanigans like that, which feel good, but this is just for controlling early game tempo, mainly against Kaisa and Teemo. Because if Teemo gets on a battlefield and sets up too early, it's really rough. The Teemo matchup can become very difficult because the minute you try and go in, it feels bad because you have to commit everything and they use Thousand Tail Watcher you. So that's when, like, these came in almost every matchup besides, like, Yi. Leona, this is, like, okay, but I don't know. Like, they just start stunning your stuff and stuff gets buffs and they just push out of the threshold for this. But this is just for, like, the decks that are relying on their 2-drop, like Teemo, Annie, Kaisa, stuff like that. The last card is Draven. This was literally just for Kaisa. I saw this in the Houston list, which this is what this list is derived off of, and this was for the Kaisa matchup, and this card felt insane. I played against a Kaisa player today, and I stuck this down game 2, and I won on the spot because it was like, I played this, I'm at 9. Like, I don't know how you're, I'm at 6 points, he's at 9 power. I don't know how you're clearing this. Because they just go in and cleave, and it doesn't matter what you have. Like, it just feels so good. It also is just like, they have to spend 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They have to spend 5 inches of Cathian Rain to kill this thing when you're at that high. Like, that feels so good. Like, this card into Kaisa is insane. Yeah, deck felt great. I think I'm gonna move on to some other things because I've just been nonstop playing this deck. But I think it's insane. I think it's legitimately the best deck in the room over Kaisa. I think this deck is leagues better than Kaisa. Kaisa just has to see all over Hextech Rays, Falling Stars, and Void Seekers to beat you. And if she doesn't, and you're able to set up the Vi Ride the Wind combo, you just win on the spot. Like, Kaisa just doesn't have an answer for that. If you're at 6 points and you have Ride the Wind Vi, like, most of the time when I play into Kaisa, they just scoop. But yeah, this deck's crazy. I highly recommend playing it if you can get your hands on it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.